Happy New Year. Happy New Year to all my subscribers, all my listeners, everyone who rocks out with the Nate Russell Experience. It's a new year. And somebody told me the other day, new year, new you. Well, no, it's a new year, same old Nate. It's the Nate Russell Experience. Let's go. All right, so I want to kick off this year correctly. I've been waiting for the debut of Monday Night Raw because I was like, yo, if we're gonna crank out the content and we're gonna dive in our bag, let's do it the right way. And boy, oh boy, did Monday Night Raw that debuted on Netflix. Didn't know how to feel about that, but you know what? It was amazing. It should not have been Monday Night Raw last night. It should have been Monday Night WrestleMania because that was the feel. I mean, sold out LA crowd at the brand new Intuit Dome, the home of the LA Clippers. Steve Ballmer is the owner. We already know how filthy rich he is. And let me tell you, it looked amazing. WWE did not disappoint, and the stars were out all night. Whether you're on a Raw roster, whether you're on a SmackDown roster, whether you're a celebrity, whether you're a musical artist, you know, it was just an amazing, it was, as the late great Gorilla Monsoon would say, it was a happening last night in LA. So let's dive into it. Show kicks off, Triple H comes out, and actually doesn't even come out. There's an amazing video. We already know WWE's production is second to none. Everything they do is A+++. Okay, so there was this video montage about like the history of the WWE and history of Monday Night Raw and the superstars and the divas who've graced the square circle over the years. And boom, the apron drops and Triple H is in the ring, and you know he does that. We already knew it was coming, but he hits you with the "Are you ready?" And he absolutely broke the fourth wall by using terminology that, you know, and I mean, I understand at this point with all of the websites, with all of the people like me who make content reviewing the WWE and other wrestling promotions, you know, he was just talking. He just said, hey, it doesn't matter if you're a heel. That means you're a bad guy. It doesn't matter if you're a face. That means you're a good guy. All right? It doesn't matter kayfabe, shoot, or work. You know, these are all different types of terminology. And it was amazing because he's like, you know what? The product is so big, and he actually touched on this in the press conference post-show. The product is so big, the support for it is so large, that so big is crazy. Pause. That was crazy. So, but it doesn't matter because people like me are consumed by this product. I've been a wrestling fan since I could remember, specifically a WWF, now WWE fan since I can remember. And you know what? I just can't let go. I'm sucked in because it's great storytelling, excellent storytelling. And then guess what? You have to settle it within the square circle. So it's just an amazing. So after Triple H segment ends, of course, The Rock shows up. Of course, the great one. Okay. Not only does The Rock show up, but this place goes bananas. Bananas. And the last time we saw The Rock, he whispered something in Cody Rhodes' ear. And, you know, it was pretty amazing to see The Rock come back and the fans absolutely respond because he's that big of a star. He really is, okay? He has transcended the wrestling business, and he has transcended Hollywood, you know, just being over the last 20 years like the largest box office hit literally in every single movie. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure he's up there. Like, The Rock is the man. So The Rock comes out, and he acknowledges, you know, the people who at Netflix that made the deal happen, the people at the WWE who made the deal happen, you know, and what he does when he acknowledges everyone, he says, you know, special shout out to the person who's been carrying this company on his back for the last year, which is Cody Rhodes. Now, I just said that the last time we saw him, he whispered something in Cody's ear. So for a second, they paused on the storyline and they kept it, you know, straight down the middle. You know, it was The Rock was in business mode, getting the show started. And again, he did not disappoint. So we go into our first match: Tribal Combat, Solo Sikoa versus Roman Reigns. The crowd was red hot all freaking night. And you know what? Solo and Roman did not disappoint. I am convinced that Solo Sikoa, I haven't always been, you know, he was a little green when they first called him up to the main roster. But, you know, from his promos to his in-ring work to everything they've done with the Bloodline 2.0, this kid has delivered. And I am Solo, you're not the tribal chief because you lost to Roman Reigns, but man, salute to you. Now, as far as Roman Reigns, I thought, you know, after the match, I thought The Rock, he strolls down the aisle and he places the Ulafala on Roman Reigns' head, around his head, on his shoulders. And I thought, boom, the rock bottom was coming. It was right there to set up Roman Reigns, the OTC versus the final boss. But they did not pull the trigger. So, you know, I'm on the Triple H. Triple H, I want you to know I'm on to you. Okay, Bruce Pritchard, I'm on to you. All right, everyone else who's writing in the writer's room, I'm on to y'all. You know why? Because it was too obvious. And you guys are always looking for a greater swerve. And I don't have an issue with that because, like I said, we already broke the fourth wall. So now we got to get so creative that it's so tasteful in the creativity that we never see what's going to happen next. So I'm okay with it. Roman, I mean, we all acknowledge him. He has the Ulafala, Paul Heyman, the wise man at his side. And I mean, just the finish of the match the finish was just so ridiculous. It absolutely had a WrestleMania 40 finish with Jacob Fatu. Again, primetime player. Jacob Fatu is the man. Excuse me. Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga coming out. And then Jimmy Uso and Sami Zayn coming out as well to even the odds. And right when we thought that Roman Reigns, I'm coughing, and I'm not going to edit this out. Actually, I'm not. This is all staying, you know, screw it. Right when we thought that Roman Reigns was going to win the match, out comes Kevin Owens and delivers a stunner on Reigns, which brings Cody Rhodes out. And I'm like, this is just the most ridiculous, over the top, but it made sense because Kevin Owens does not like Roman Reigns at all. So, you know, it just made sense. And we love to see it. Also, we got a chance, without seeing Kevin Owens and or Cody Rhodes in singles action, get to further the storyline that they're building for the Royal Rumble that is set to take place on February the 1st, Saturday, February the 1st of this year. So, you know, it's very interesting. I don't know where the Bloodline 2.0 goes from here. I am looking at, I know Jacob and Tama Tonga are not going to turn on Solo. Solo did a great job, and I mean, they drug it out literally from the day after WrestleMania all the way to now. Great. They had the War Games. I mean, just great stuff. Really, really great stuff. All right. So then we moving on to John Cena returns. Now, we knew that John Cena was going to return in 2025. He had said it at the last pay-per-view. And, you know, this is the farewell tour. And basically in the promo, he talked about, you know, what does a farewell tour look like? You know, he said he hasn't won a singles match in quite some time. In addition to that, you know, he just doesn't know if another world title, if beating Ric Flair's record is in the cards. However, he had the crowd in the palm of his hands, and he says, you know what? But what happens if I won the Royal Rumble? And I said, and that is how you sell out Lucas Oil Stadium right there. Because John Cena is not going to win the Royal Rumble. I'll tell you that right now. He is not going to win the Royal Rumble. But guess what? It's the fact that if he won it, it really would not be a surprise. It's John freaking Cena. It's John freaking Cena. So, you know, great promo as usual. Again, this crowd was red hot all night. Like, all night. Okay? So then we had Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley. Now, Rhea wins the match. You know, she wins it after the shenanigans per usual. But I didn't see this materialize in the way that it did. Only because it's always better when somebody is chasing the championship. You know, like where do we go from Liv? You could actually make the argument that Liv Morgan could be the wrestler of the year. Like she had that type of year, you know, and it's very interesting to see what they do with Rhea moving forward. I don't know if we're going to try to set up Rhea versus Jade, Rhea versus Bianca. I don't know what we're going to do, but, you know, Rhea's a star, and she's a beautiful star at that. There, you hear me, Rhea? You look good, girl. I just want you to know that. You look good. All right? So, and then we're moving. Okay, so at the end of the Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan match, Rhea is celebrating, and then we hear the gong, and then we hear some new music from The Undertaker, who is back using the American Bad behind gimmick. And I mean, it works. You know, he clearly can't be the dead man at this point in time in his career. You know, he's so out of character. So, you know, it was really dope to see him and Rhea celebrate. And again, I cannot stress, and it is, you know, it's on Netflix, so please go back and watch it. The stars were out. I mean, the only person we were missing was Stone Cold Steve Austin, literally, or Vince McMahon. Like, literally, the stars were out. It was amazing. Okay, they celebrate. So then, now we're going to do something. Now, I'm going to tell you all this, and I'm not joking. You can take this to the bank. Jey Uso will be a world champion this year in 2025. Okay, Jey Uso is just as over, if not more over, than anyone on the roster. He shows up with Travis Scott. And of course, they come through the audience. And when I tell you, there was a yeet fest all over this building, all over the internet. It was bananas. I mean, Jey Uso, man, so, you know, it's like the management is obviously taking notice of it. And the way they've built Jey Uso up from the pandemic to now has been, over the last 5 years, has been amazing. So, but you looking at it like, yo, this dude is selling merchandise. This dude, I don't know how you're going to get him the title. I mean, it's actually very easy. You can have him beat Gunther. Like, honestly, no shade to Gunther because I love Gunther. But you can have him beat Gunther and everyone's going to respond accordingly. Like, he's that over. It's amazing. So, you know, Drew and Jey Uso fight, and we all know how I feel about Drew McIntyre. He is the real deal Holyfield. He's actually one of my top 3 picks to win the Royal Rumble in 2025, okay? And Drew, the last Rumble he won was 2020. So he has the ability to do it. So, you know, Jey beats Drew is no surprise there at all because Jey is just that over. It's ridiculous. It's interesting to see how the storyline progresses. If you want to get the title off of Cody Rhodes at the Royal Rumble, the obvious answer is to have Drew McIntyre screw the living hell out of him. Like, seriously. That's how you do it. It's that simple, okay? It's really, really that simple. All right, moving on. And I know I'm going through it, but you know what? And I probably should have led with this. You know, the channel is going to focus more on sports and sports entertainment, and then everything else that I dive into, you know, my politics, pop culture, all that, that's going to be on another platform that we're working on right now as well. So I probably should have led with that. But that is the segue to this next all-time great legend who came, who showed up to a standing ovation, but only to, once his music stopped, for him to get booed out of the building. And that was Hulk Hogan. Okay, the immortal Hulk Hogan, who looks like absolutely he's had every single surgery that he's told y'all about. Okay, you know, he's older, he could barely walk, you know, but for some reason he still has the pythons. Oh yeah, brother, like it's Hulk Hogan. And you all know why he got booed? Because of his political stance. That's why Hulk Hogan got booed. We know California is a very, very liberal state, and the state is blue top to bottom, but you know, and the state of California let Hulk Hogan know that they do not like the fact that he's a Republican. But I find that very interesting because I guarantee you, all the rich people who were there, all of them, most of them, if not all of them, I bet you the people who own Netflix and the people who own the WWE, they voted Republican. But that's neither here nor there. I bet you the people, upper management in WWE, I guarantee you they voted Republican. But I could be wrong. Hulk Hogan gets booed out of the building. No, I did not feel bad for him at all because, people, they write negative comments about my content all the time. It is what it is. Once you make yourself a public figure, you have to embrace the criticism, good, bad, ugly, indifferent. It doesn't matter. All I know is that was very entertaining to watch Hulk Hogan get booed. And I'm like, we should have seen this coming, but I hope the WWE doesn't leave it there. I hope, we see him a couple more times this year. Just because we don't ever want to end on a sour note, okay? We just don't want to do that. And we don't want to disrespect the legend. Because I guarantee you, if something happened to him, all those fans who were booing, they would be like, oh, we miss Hogan, the greatest of all time, blah, 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 blah. Come on, man. Hulk Hogan is the reason why people like me are still watching wrestling to this day. Literally. All right? So then we got the main event, which every match was the main event. Every single match was the main event. But we got CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. And this was what I like to call a finisher fest. Okay? And that, again, pause. That was crazy. That was super crazy. I apologize. But they fought each other. It was a pay-per-view match. Like, literally, they fought each other. CM Punk wins clean. He beats Seth Rollins clean. And I'm going to be honest with you. Seth Rollins has done the job for so many people over the years. He probably doesn't get enough credit. It's almost like, Shawn Michaels' WrestleMania record. He's Mr. WrestleMania, but I'm pretty sure he's below 500 at WrestleMania. He's always putting someone else over. He's always doing something for someone else consistently. And Seth Rollins does it again. Not that CM Punk needs any favors. However, if we're inching towards a potential CM Punk versus John Cena main event at WrestleMania, if we're inching towards a CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania title run, or, whatever we want to do with CM Punk, it made sense. And watch this. Here's the revelation for all of you jabronis. Seth Rollins can talk himself out of the loss. And that's when you know you're great. When you can talk yourself out of the loss. So, Raw debuts on Netflix, literally 10 out of 10. It was WrestleMania. It was banana. Only thing that was missing was the ridiculous entrances that you see at WrestleMania. However, let me say this, though. Let me say this, and let me mean what I say, and I'm going to say what I mean here. The entrances still took just as long. The between Triple H, The Rock, and the first match, that was the entire first hour of the show. And I'm like, man, that's a long time. What do I know? But it worked. If sitting home watching it, I'm glad I have a Netflix subscription. If I had paid tickets, if I flew to Cali, I would have paid tickets to be there. Purchase tickets rather to be there, I would have not been disappointed. So it gets a 10 out of 10. I'm interested to see where they go from here next. And I want to say this too, as far as the celebrities and when they kept showing them on the jumbotron and the video wall, and everyone was getting a standing ovation for the most part. But there was one person whose pop was ridiculous. And you know who that was? Tiffany Stratton. You know why? Because it's absolutely Tiffy time. This girl put a rocket on her, put 3 rockets and send her to the moon. She is on her way. This past Friday, she cashed in the Money in the Bank against Nia Jax, which was one of the better cash-ins that we've seen in a long time. And let me tell you, it's Tiffy time. It is absolutely Tiffy time. So, that's it for today. We're rocking. Look, stay tuned. We got so much content coming. It's going to be amazing. 2025 is the year of discipline and the year of deliverables. So, stay tuned. This is the Nate Russell Experience.